Hey friends, it's Mrs. Winslow. Today we are going to be reading a story called Protector of the Amazon by Emma Carlson Byrne from your Nat Geo Explorer magazine. Before we begin, I want to remind you that as we read this nonfiction article, be sure to notice all of the nonfiction text features that we've been studying in class. You might see a title, a subtitle, a heading, a map, photo, a caption, and or a bold or highlighted word. Be sure to use them to learn more about the topic. When you're done listening or reading, be sure to answer the comprehension questions and to take the quiz that matches this article. All right, here we go. Meet Neimante Nankimo, protector of the Amazon. The courtroom was crowded in Puyo, Ecuador. Neimante Nankimo stood under harsh lights. She was wearing red face paint and a crown of feathers. 3 judges sat in front. If we look at this photo to the right of the first paragraph, we can see her red face paint and the feathers in her headband, or a crown. Nankimo is a member of the Waorani Nation. For centuries, the Waorani have lived in the rainforests of Ecuador. Now, they had to fight for their culture. If we click on culture, it says culture, a pattern of behavior shared by a society or group of people. Many different things make up a society's culture. These things include food, language, clothing, tools, music, arts, customs, beliefs, and religion. Now they had to fight for their culture. The government had divided up their land. They wanted to auction it off to oil companies. Nankimo had helped her tribe file a lawsuit against the government. A lawsuit is a process during which a disagreement between people or organizations is decided in court. So Nankimo had helped her tribe file a lawsuit against the government. The Waorani had presented their case. Now the judges would decide. If we look to the left, we can see the photo, and it appears that the Waorani people were in court, and they're dressed the same way as Nankimo was. If we look at the caption under the photo, it says, Neimante Nankimo raises her fist in a sign of strength at the start of the court hearing in Ecuador. So this is Nankimo. Let's go down to the next heading. A rainforest home. The Waorani Nation is made up of about 5,000 indigenous people. An indigenous people is the first people who lived in any region before later immigrants. So like the Native Americans were indigenous to the area that we live here. They live on 2.5 million acres of rainforest. Most of the lands is in Ecuador. Here, more than 1,500 species of bird, 300 species of mammal, and more than 840 species of reptile make their home. As hunter-gatherers, the Waorani's lives are connected to the rainforest. Weapons for hunting are made from peach palm wood. Traditional huts are made of palm leaves and tree trunks. Does anyone know where Ecuador is on this map? If we look at the other graphic below the map, we see that Ecuador is on the northwest side of South America, somewhere in here, kind of where that little notch is right there. That's Ecuador. The Waorani have always fought off invaders, but they did not have much contact with the outside world until an American missionary came in 1958. Once contact was made, something was discovered. Oil. The oil was valuable. To get at it, oil companies ran roads and pipelines into Waorani land. For the most part, this was done without the Waorani's permission. That is kind of upsetting. How would you feel if someone came into your land or your property, imagine your backyard, and started taking away valuable resources that technically belong to you, I agree with them. I would be really upset with the government too. If we look at this photo, it says the Waorani live in the Amazon rainforest. Look at how beautiful. All right. Next page. Drilling down. In 2012, the government of Ecuador wanted to offer new drilling rights to oil companies. The drilling area included Waorani lands. By law, the government had to explain this to the Waorani. Government representatives flew into the rainforest. They held short, rushed meetings. Many Waorani did not have enough time to get there. Few understood the language being used. Later, the Waorani learned that the government had divided up a large section of the Amazon for drilling. The Waorani section was number 22. They needed to defend their land. And here's the Waorani people traveling by canoe on a river. A leader for her people. Neimante Nankimo was born and raised in the Waorani culture. Early in her childhood, her family moved to a community deep in the rainforest. Nankimo's grandfather, Payemo, was a respected warrior. He believed that the rainforest should be protected. From him, Nankimo learned that the land must be defended against threats. Nankimo also learned from Waorani women. They have always been the caretakers of the forest. They watch over the plants and animals and tell the men where to hunt and for which animals. This Waorani elder, or an older person, uses a blowpipe and darts for hunting. No going to Hannaford or Walmart for these guys. They have to go into the woods for their food. In 2015, Nankimo helped lead the Waorani in a project to map their ancestral lands. Elders and young people worked together. They mapped the sacred waterways, animal breeding sites, and fruit tree groves. A grove is a garden for fruit trees. They used traditional drawings as well as GPS and cameras. Later, these maps would be used to show the deep relationship the Waorani have to their land. Oh, guys, look, it's a video. The Waorani mapped the rainforest to show their connection to the land. Let's push play. Oops.
Armed with 500 years experience fighting invasions, as well as 21st century technology, the Waorani are challenging the government's plans to exploit oil in their territory by mapping the rich biodiversity of the rainforest, demonstrating their connection to it, and organizing a region-wide resistance.
Nankimo and 4 other women were elected to lead the lawsuit. It argued that the government had not gotten the free agreement of the Waorani. This was required by law. This caption says, surrounded by her people, Nankimo speaks to reporters about the case. There she is, being brave, talking to all the reporters. In court. On February 27, 2019, the Waorani officially sued the government of Ecuador. They did not know if they would succeed, but they knew they had to try. On April 11, 2019, hundreds of Waorani people marched through Puyo to the courthouse. They wore traditional clothes made of palm leaves. Their faces and arms were covered with paint used in battle. Remember when they talked about how the Waorani were indigenous people that had their own culture and traditions? Well, when these people would go to fight in a war or battle, they would paint themselves with all kinds of things, probably crushed up plants to get the pigment or the color from them. And look at how cool they look. Many other cultures have done this, like Native American Indians have also used these techniques during battle, but it's almost to decorate themselves or make them known as they're together. The Waorani women lead the march to the court. As they walked, they sang their traditional songs. They wanted people to see their pride in their culture. Nankimo felt like a warrior that day, she recalled. Inside the courtroom, the Waorani and their lawyers presented their case. Their maps showed the judges and the Waorani's bond to their land. This video, under the caption, it says the Waorani wanted to protect their land.
The Waorani have a message for the government, for the oil companies, and for the world. Our land is not for sale. No oil.
The ruling. On April 26th, one judge spoke. He said that the government had not tried to understand the Waorani and their culture. The Waorani had not given consent. Consent means you say that something is okay. So the Waorani had not said it was okay for the government to take their oil. The verdict, or the end result, the land was to be protected. The Waorani had won. Nankimo remembers that the room was filled with emotion and music. Her grandmother began to sing a song. It celebrated their origins in the rainforest. She also sang of a healthy future for their children. The graphic says, Nankimo stands with Waorani leaders in the courtroom. Outside, rain began to pour down. For the Waorani, rain has always been a sign of victory. Now, other indigenous people could bring lawsuits of their own if needed. As for Nankimo, her work goes on. Her focus is the education of young people. She wants to create jobs so they will stay on the land. She wants to protect and teach the Waorani language. But Nankimo knows young people must also learn the tools of the outside world. Then they can carry on the fight to protect the Waorani lands. In this picture or photo, the caption says, Nankimo and other leaders celebrate their court victory. And there she is, sticking up for what she believes in. The end. Thanks for listening along with me. Be sure to answer the comprehension questions, which are found in this graphic organizer right here. We're going to be answering these questions and the short answer down at the below. And when you're done with that, you can take the short comprehension quiz right here. Okay, friends, I hope you have a wonderful Friday, and I can't wait to see you on Monday. Thanks for listening.